Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, heads of international organizations, members of the Consular Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by wishing you a good start to the new year, all of us. Before going further, a couple of things. One, of course, diplomacy, I think, is a very sophisticated business. The two ministers, Minister of State and Minister of Foreign Affairs, to begin with, but before that, the lady in charge of ceremonies, they came here and told us, when the in charge of ceremonies came to speak, she said, we should enjoy our delicious meal. Well, I thought there wasn't going to be speeches. And then she started inviting one person after another, and then, so how are we supposed to enjoy our delicious meal at the same time but that is the style of diplomacy. So we are very happy for each other and every one of you representing your countries and organizations in Rwanda. And I would like to extend a special welcome to the new envoys who presented their credentials today. I wish you every success in your work and an enjoyable stay in your temporary home. You can make it permanent if you wish. I'm just talking about some realities. We are pleased that the diplomatic community, as I said earlier, in Kigali continues to grow with the established new embassies and continuing to happen. The past year was a very good one for our country. While we still have a long journey ahead, we made progress in many areas and continue to learn from our experience and from our friends and others. Looking ahead, we will continue to drive inclusive growth and strengthen our institutions for the benefit of our citizens. The productive relations we enjoy with our neighbors and partners, most of you here, will, as always, be an important contributing factor. Rwanda can also be counted on to continue playing our part in global environmental protection, international peace and security, the fight for gender equality, and many others. However, the past year was not without reminders of the serious challenges we must confront together. And I mean together because it's the rich, it's the big, it's the small, it's the poor countries. I think increasingly we are finding some convergence because of certain realities. So working together, we can address many of those challenges. The desperate situation of African migrants in Libya, in other parts, it's not Libya alone, was deeply disturbing. But we just can't look at that and feel disturbed and stop there. I think we need to think about very seriously the causes. The root causes are important to know, to understand, to try and address, so that, and here it cannot in any way be construed to mean that it is Libya's problem. No, it's our problem, all of us, wherever those migrants come from or whatever produces them. It implicates all of us. It's not just one country. Rwanda remains prepared to provide our own modest involvement, support, and if necessary, sanctuary for those migrants who wish to come here or through here back to where they had come from in the first place. It is easy for us to say this and possibly do that because of our own history and experience. You know, not so long ago, this country, that's maybe about 25 years ago, we used to have, and before that, we used to have arguments that Rwandese should stay outside of this country, wherever they were, and that involved some of us, because the leaders of that time were saying the country is too small to accommodate more people. So too small. So too small became just really a political statement. There is no country that is ever too small to accommodate its people. And what we have been trying to do is to demonstrate that, to prove that we can have all Rwandans and even more other Africans. If they came our way, we would find a place for them. In actual fact, the first place is in our hearts. Then the second place is the physical one, which can be managed also in many different ways. So there is no country that is too small to have all its own people and others to stay. So we are happy from our own experience and lessons learned we can. And in any case, there's a simple logic here. If anyone is suffering like some of these people, these migrants, the way they are suffering, or instead of being sold as slaves by some people, and again, when I'm saying this, it's not Libya I'm talking about. Those people who were enslaving or selling people, human beings, are not necessarily Libyans or Libyans alone. These people have been doing it, come from across the world. And but what I'm saying is, somebody caught up in that situation, or in the situation where they are trying to cross the Mediterranean and boats capsizing and people drowning in their hundreds. I think what they would experience in Rwanda, between that suffering they are going through and for those who reach where they reach, I don't know what the experiences are, but I think we can provide something that is better than drowning or being sold as slaves. So we will be giving them an alternative that is much better than what they are having. So we don't promise them a lot when they come here, but we promise them much better than what they are having. However, the past year, again, drawing from those lessons, we can address many of these problems. We will work with the African Union and other concerned governments across the world and organizations to address this and prevent it from happening every now and then. It requires everybody's input. As the incoming chair of the African Union for 2018, Rwanda will be even more focused on African integration than ever before. We look forward to working closely with our brothers and sisters around the continent to make progress toward the priorities we have set for ourselves, but equally important, we want to work with our partners from outside of the continent, because if we do and if we address these challenges, we are all of us, better off. Africans have always wanted to come together, visit each other without complications, invest, and do business and partner and to partner confidently with the rest of the world. So we invite you, our partners from the rest of the world, and assure you of our commitment to working together. I would like to inform you that the institutional and financial reform of the African Union is on track. The changes being implemented are critical for Africa's future. One of the outcomes of the reform will be stronger, more productive partnerships between Africa and other continents. Finally, as you know, we have opened our borders to visitors from every nation in the world who are now eligible for visas on arrival. Well, this will require us to be more vigilant, establish systems that are efficient, effective, so that nothing undesirable takes advantage of this. That we are very conscious about, and we will do our part on that as well. We look forward to welcoming many new visitors and to making new friends. On that note, I wish you, I was instructed by the protocol people that there is something called a toast that we must. So may I most sincerely wish you all prosperity, progress, and friendship among our nations. Cheers. Yes. Thank you. Asanteni sana.